I used to believe that love was strongest when it was tested by time. I thought if you worked hard, stayed loyal, and gave everything you had, the person you loved would value that. For years, I worked night shifts at a factory, the kind that left your hands sore and your eyes burning, just so she could have the comfort I never did. Every morning when I came home, she'd still be asleep, wrapped in the warmth of our bed, and I'd smile knowing my sacrifice meant something. At least, that's what I believed. Her name was Sarah. She wasn't just my wife, she was my reason for everything. When we got married, she had dreams of starting a small business, something with fashion, maybe a boutique. I told her I'd support her, even if it meant taking extra shifts. She started working as an assistant for a company manager who she said was helping her learn the ropes. I didn't question much. I trusted her. That trust was the foundation of everything I built around her. The nights were long, but the thought of her kept me going. I'd call her during my breaks just to hear her voice, though sometimes she wouldn't answer, saying she fell asleep early or was too tired from work. I brushed it off, people get busy. But slowly, things started to feel off. Her tone changed, her patience thinned, and those long, warm conversations we used to have turned into short, distracted replies. I told myself it was just stress. I didn't want to believe otherwise. Then came the small signs, the perfume that wasn't hers, the new clothes she said were just samples from her boss, and the nights she said she was staying late for office work. I felt something in my chest twist every time I heard those words, but I kept my mouth shut. I thought confronting her might make things worse. So I stayed quiet, convincing myself that love meant endurance. That silence became my biggest mistake. One night, as I left for work, I saw her phone light up on the table. The name flashing across the screen made my stomach drop, Mr. Harris. Her boss. I didn't touch it, but something inside me broke that night. I couldn't focus on anything at work. Every sound, every passing hour felt like a nail being driven deeper into the coffin of what I thought was love. When I came home the next morning, she was gone. Just a note on the counter saying, "I need time to think." Days turned into weeks. She stopped answering my calls. Her friends said she was staying somewhere safe, whatever that meant. I kept going to work, pretending everything was normal, but inside, I was hollow. The house was quiet, painfully quiet. Every corner reminded me of her, her laughter, her scent, her touch. I didn't eat much. I didn't sleep much either. I was just existing. Then one night, around 2 a.m., while I was sorting boxes in the back room, my phone buzzed. The caller ID said unknown. I hesitated but answered. A man's voice came through, calm, composed, but cold. "Is this Daniel?" he asked. I said yes. "This is Mr. Harris," he continued. My heart skipped. Before I could say anything, he sighed and said, "I think you should know the truth about Sarah." What he said next shattered everything. He told me that Sarah had been lying to both of us. She wasn't just cheating, she was manipulating him too, using promises and pity to get money, gifts, and trips. When he found out she was married, he ended it. She'd taken money from his accounts, stolen personal information, and disappeared. He said he called me because she'd mentioned my name, said I was the reason she did it all. Then he added quietly, "I'm sorry, man. You didn't deserve that." I stood there frozen, the world spinning around me. I didn't feel anger at first, just a strange emptiness. All those nights I worked for us, all the dreams we shared, they weren't real. They were just pieces of a story she wrote to keep herself comfortable. When I hung up, I sat on the cold floor for what felt like hours, listening to the hum of the factory machines. That's when I realized the truth. Sometimes betrayal doesn't scream, it whispers in silence until it consumes everything. A week later, she showed up at my door. Her eyes were swollen, her hair messy, and her voice trembling. She tried to explain, said she'd made mistakes, that she was lost, that she needed help. I looked at her, really looked at her, and for the first time, I didn't see the woman I loved. I saw the stranger who destroyed the version of me that believed love was unconditional. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just said, "You made your choice." Then I closed the door. That night, I went to work like always, but something inside me had changed. The world felt clearer, quieter. I wasn't angry anymore. I realized that sometimes, life takes everything from you so you can finally see who you really are. I was no longer the man working nights for someone else's comfort, I was a man rebuilding himself from the ashes of a lie. And as the dawn broke through the factory windows, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time, peace. Not because she was gone, but because I finally understood that love isn't proven by how much pain you can endure. It's proven by how much truth you're willing to face. And that call, that one call from her so-called boss, gave me the closure I didn't even know I needed. Did this story touch your heart? Tell me in the comments where you're watching from, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so more hearts can feel these stories too.